Lotargar friends, hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today is max effort squat and deadlift day. And yes, I will be doing my deadlift shirtless for you guys. We'll talk about that in a minute. First, let's talk about what I'm going to do for my max squat today. We went with safety bar box squats. Now, I haven't done these before. I've never done safety squats on a box. In fact, a month ago is the first time I ever tried to hit a single on a safety bar squat, and even quite a bit less than my normal squat. I almost lost it. And of course, people have tried to make fun of that everywhere, but it's like, okay guys, these things happen. These things happen when you try maxes on some of these awkward lifts. It's normal. I didn't even get anywhere near my max squat on it before I ran into problems. Today we ended up going a hair lighter on this. I ended up building up to just 370. I feel that's a good starting point because that felt damn heavy on this particular exercise, right? It felt really, really heavy doing this on a box squat. And when I have to think about where I feel this, I feel these so intensely, especially on a box, like in my whole T-spine and my thoracic erectors, mid-traps, that I almost feel like this would be an amazing deadlift accessory more than anything else. In fact, with the wider stance you often do on the box, I feel like this exercise, if you really wanted a sumo deadlift accessory, particularly for someone who your middle and upper back is a weak link in a sumo deadlift, this exercise would nail it. And I'm basing that not just upon the mechanics of it, but where I actually feel it. So if I decide to push my sumo up and treat my sumo as anything but an accessory, which right now I do it for my dynamic work, but I could always end up pulling sumo in a meet if I'm stronger at it. But if I felt like it, yeah, this would be an exercise I would come in and maybe do just for volume work. To bring up the sumo deadlift, right? But for now, I think it's also a good max effort exercise to work in on the conjugate. Maybe do it every 4 weeks or so. So I'll keep it in my rotation, but I feel like 370 is my starting point. We need to get it up over 400, right? You get it up over 400. But it was tough. Like I felt this. It's like I feel like had I gone maybe 10, 15 pounds heavier, I might have failed it. And you can't really see it, but it is really pulling me forward. I feel so much pressure in my thoracic region that it's just ridiculous. So then I did my deadlifts shirtless. And here's the thing, guys. What do I tell you guys? This channel is for everyday Joes who just want to get strong and big. They don't want to get hurt. You guys want to get as strong as possible. You want to look like you lift. You want to be fit. This is not a bodybuilding channel, right? I have loose skin. I spent a year in bed sick in my early 30s. I'm 42 now. I had to rehabilitate myself. I gained 100 pounds. I had to lose 100 pounds of fat. I still have loose skin from that, all right? And I went on, and in my late 30s, after spending a year sick in bed and having to learn to walk again, I earned an invite to WPC Worlds in powerlifting. I'm still training. I'm still rebuilding myself. And I did a cut last year, right? You guys remember? I did a 40-pound cut. And I've stayed pretty much in that weight range. I'm 3 pounds heavier than my last DEXA scan, right? Which was back in December at 17% body fat. I was 215, 17% body fat at 5'9". I'm 218 right now. I've only gained 3 pounds. In that time, I don't feel I've gained any fat. Now I still have loose skin, and the loose skin can sometimes make you look a little fatter, but I'm not like ashamed of my body. A lot of people on here, because I don't look like a bodybuilder, anyone who doesn't look like a bodybuilder or a fitness model, people want to shame you when you're strong and athletic. And I can honestly say in my 40s, 90% of these guys who want to come and shame me, I probably have better blood work than they do. I can lift more than them. I could probably run faster than them because these guys forget I do cardio every day, right? I do list cardio every day and I do conditioning work. You guys have watched me do GPP work. I do conditioning. And I'm continuing to work on my conditioning and performance. I care about this stuff. But today, let's get over to the deadlifts. Enough talking about that. I wanted to hit a 3-inch deficit for a max today. All right, I went to pull there. That 485 was easy with a hook grip off a 3-inch deficit. Now, it could be more than 3 inch. I've never measured the thickness of the boots. I'm standing on a 2.5-inch plate. And I'm in Tim's work boots. Whatever the thickness is of Tim's, Timberlake's. That's what I got on there. So I went ahead and I went to pull 500 today with 2.5-inch plus the boots. I'm just counting it as 3 inches. It could be a little more. Got 500, clean, easy, held it at the top with a hook grip. Happy with that, right? I'm happy with that. That's a good lift. And then I decided to do some back squat, back off work. Now today I decided to squat in my boots. I've been squatting in Olympic shoes. And I feel like for me, it's too easy to go deeper than I need to. I accidentally go ass to grass in those shoes. I don't need to go ass to grass for powerlifting. I just need to go an inch below parallel. I feel like squat shoes allow me to squat so much deeper, so much easier, that it's not necessarily beneficial for me getting my stretch reflex. I might actually be better at a competitive, even a high bar competitive squat in powerlifting if I just get used to squatting in boots again. Or flats, either one, doesn't matter. So I decided to try it today, just with some back off work. 405 felt like a warm up. So I went ahead and went up to 425, wanted to see if I could get some triples with it, at least one triple. So I threw 425 on, and you guys will notice on this, I don't have quite as much thoracic rounding, at least on the first 2 reps. It gets a little more pronounced as I get further into it. So maybe I'm a little more stable, or maybe my T-spine is strengthening more from the extra work I'm doing from it. But again, look at that, less of it. And I'm wondering if it has to do with, again, just the footing difference in the boots. Because again, second rep, none. We don't have any of the thoracic rounding. Third rep, just a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as my back off work with 405 the other day. So that was a nice triple. Then I went to see if I could get another one, and I got 2 reps. I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I'm done squatting. I'm gonna do some good mornings and some glute ham raises, and I'm gonna call it a day. I just don't need volume. This is my heavier day. This is supposed to be my big lifts. And I'll save the volume for Thursday, because you guys know I'm gonna do 12 sets of box squats and probably at least 10 sets of sumo speed pulls on Thursday. So again, we just need to get in and get the accessory work. I feel like this is a little bit of practice in the boots, and I'll see if I can hit a max. We'll go for next max effort day. I'll probably deload my max effort work this coming week, and then the week after, so 2 weeks from today, we'll come back and see what we can hit on a box squat, or a normal back squat, I mean. And I think it'll be pretty decent. I went ahead and I did 3 sets of 10 on the good mornings, just with a normal bar. Didn't do a safety bar this time. And then afterwards, I did some glute ham raises. I've already done my first 2 sets of 10. I'll do 1 more. So pretty much what I do off camera, at the end of these workouts, I usually do 3 sets of 10 on glute ham raises. I try to do like 3 sets of 80 to 100 standing band crunches, and then sometimes I'll throw in some sets of 20 of hyperextensions. But I do hyperextensions every day anyways. Like sometimes on my squat days I don't, because I do glute ham raises. So the other 5 days a week though, I try to do like 3 sets of 20 on hyperextensions, and I usually just superset that with my abs. So I'll go do 20 hyperextensions and I'll do 80 to 100 band crunches. So that's pretty normal for me. And again, this is just, again, the back off work. It's just accessory work, working on my weak points, my thoracic spine, hamstrings, lower back, all of that stuff. But those are also muscles I'm putting a lot of work into, in addition to like my rear delts, side delts, my triceps, because those are weak links in my bench press and all my upper body, right? I obviously am not lacking in my chest. My chest is not my weak link on my bench. You guys have seen me shirtless. My triceps are a weak link. Triceps are biggest weak link for me. I really need to add an enormous amount of extra meat to my triceps, right? That's one of the reasons my arms don't look as big as they could be on my torso. And obviously things like rear and side delts, but I also do face pulls every single day. I do 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps on band face pulls right now, and eventually that should bring those areas up also. So it's all going to come up. It's just going to take time. And I mean, honestly, people need to remember, I'm not at the body fat I'm going to end up at. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to just stay under 220. I'm recomping and trying to build as much strength as possible while maintaining a certain weight. I've got to get used to being at lighter body weights and building strength. And then when I feel like I'm at an acceptable strength level, I'll start working the scale further down again. All it'll take is cutting a little bit of calories out. I mean, I run straight keto right now, but all I'll have to do is cut a little bit of calories, and then the scale will start moving down. Especially when I gain more strength, more work capacity. It's not really going to be a big deal. And I'll cut another 20 pounds. I'll probably drop down into the 190s. Like ideally, I probably want to walk around about 198 to 200. That way I can guarantee an easy walk into a 198 class later as a master's anytime I want without having to do a water cut. Because I just honestly get really tired of doing water cuts for meets. I would rather just eventually cut down and just stay leaner and be 2 or 3 pounds over meet weight, right? I think that's really the best way to go. But the point is, you know, people want to make a big deal about when you don't have a perfect physique, as if you can't give fitness advice or training advice or get people in shape if you don't look like a fitness model. And that's absolutely ridiculous. And it also sets an insane standard, because a lot of these fitness models really don't know that much about training. They might know a fair amount about nutrition. They might have their nutrition on point as far as body fat loss. But most of them use a lot of drugs. They have very good genetic structures, hefty doses of drugs, combined with usually just knowing how to eat, right? A lot of them aren't even that strong. They're not really fit. They're not really fit or healthy outside of their appearance, you know, in their body composition. And I'm not saying body composition doesn't matter. It does matter. But people have to remember that at the end of the day. You have to remember that at the end of the day. If you're at a healthy body fat, and right now I am considered to be at a healthy body fat medically, it's not a big deal. People are running around pretending like they're all ashamed of their body when they're not even at an unhealthy body fat. You know, that's not emotionally healthy, and it's not physically healthy, because I can tell you right now, the majority of you out there also are not going to be able to be healthy walking around at 8% body fat year round either. Right? And at a certain point, guys have to accept, if you want to gain muscle or get bigger, you're going to have to gain some fat at some point. You're going to have to. That's the simple reality of it. You can always trim down later. And that's what I would say to a lot of these younger guys out there. Look, you might not think that I have the look that you want right now, but you might say, well, I want to be at his size. I want the amount of muscle he has. I just don't want to be as fat as him. I want to be leaner and a little more proportionate. Well, you're going to have to get bigger. You're going to have to get up to my size, and you're going to have to trim down to do it. You're not just going to lean bulk up. I can tell you guys with 100% certainty, you are not going to lean bulk up to my size without drugs. You're absolutely not going to do that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.